This is Chapter 5 of Weeds in the Garden of Freedom by Deborah J. Reeves. All rights to both the book and presentation are reserved. Welcome, make yourself comfortable, and we'll begin right away. Chapter 5, Standing. Oxford? That's a great school, but England? She'd be all alone, Oscar stated. Now I know that it was Philippe for sure, Colette said with awe. When Marie was little, she used to talk about dreams of being in an English village. She said that she was running to class with a medical bag like Dr. Donovan's in her hands, and that she loved treating the people at the clinic. She said she lived in an apartment with her friends, and they were studying to be doctors. She used to say that her friends' names were Laura Hobson and Sun Lin, and that Sun Lin looked just like Auntie Fan, Colette murmured. Oscar looked at Colette with incredulity. Listen to yourself, Colette. I remember her talking about those dreams. She talked about it for weeks, but she was only 7 years old. I started regretting telling her about Anne-Marie's dream to be a doctor because she was so inflexible and so certain of the future. I think that was the first time she ever told me she was never getting married. Colette, she'd be in a strange country with no one to look out for her. Colette was not influenced by his words. She mildly responded, Anne-Marie and Philip will look out for her. You know they will. Colette, right now she needs to be in the arms of people who love her. She feels alone. Sending her across the ocean to England, where she has no one, cannot be the right answer. It can't be. Oscar looked back at his wife, not knowing how to respond to the kind of certainty as his parental instincts hit the top of the meter inside him. Aki could see that this was not the time for a discussion like this. They were not prepared for it. Oscar was out of his normal stoic reserve. Aki told them, no decision has to be made immediately. I've postponed her studies until autumn so that she has some time to decide. She can continue at PSL in September if she wishes, and we can explore the idea of Oxford, including admission requirements, as the months go by and as she feels stronger. Oscar pulled into the parking lot behind the restaurant, and he parked the car. Bertie's car was two spaces down, but no one was inside. As the three readied themselves to brave the brutal temperatures and the short distance to the door, Aki said, we'll get through this if we keep each other apprised of what's happening. Keeping the others in the dark will not do it. I learned that secrets allow evil to flourish. I pledge to keep you informed, and I thank you for trusting me with Marie. It's not just Marie, Aki. Emmanuel and Christine are crushed beyond anything I can imagine. Philippe's friends look like they've been eviscerated, Colette told him with a stifled sob. I'm so worried about Christine and Emmanuel. Oscar reached out and touched his shoulder. They're probably just as worried about you and Marie. No one is getting through a thing like this unscathed. I'm worried about Bertie and the twins. Bertie's doing his ramrod straight act, and the twins have been suddenly turned to 40 years old, and they think it's their job to get us all through this. I think I might be less worried if they were still yelling at me that I was a liar and that Philippe is coming back. I don't know how to deal with this much pain when I can't put a bandage on it. We'll do it together, Oscar. 1 foot ahead of the other, as we've always done, Colette whispered, pulling Oscar towards her in a hug. We're going in shortly, Colette. Take a minute to repair your makeup. You look as though you've been crying again, and you told me to tell you if your mascara was running. Colette nodded, and she drew her makeup pouch from her handbag, and she spent a minute or two making repairs. In the back seat, Aki realized anew that even on such an occasion, Colette was a lovely woman, inside and out. We have to be strong for the children and for the others. Do you want to pause here for a while till you can get your bearings? I think I'm ready to face it, Oscar said. Colette smiled weakly at him. No, I'll be fine. As long as I have you with me, I can do anything for our children. She adjusted her coat, and her fingers touched the iris pin that had been moved to her coat front. She wrapped the blue scarf she had around her throat a little more tightly and said, I'm ready. Aki opened the rear door of the car, thinking, no one is ever ready for days like this. The best we can do is stand our ground and keep others standing if we can. That's the end of chapter 5. We hope you'll come back for chapter 6, which is entitled Survival. I remain your friend, Deborah Reed.